So we've got some special guests here today.
Hi.
Budo and Tracy.
Bonjour.
From French Farmhouse Diaries. And so they just popped over. They've eaten all my cakes. So
We're going now.
so yeah, ta.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. so we're just gonna have a
We're just hanging about for dinner now.
right. So what I wanted to know, because you did mention it in our conversations earlier. You two have been together since she was 17, is that right?
Yeah.
Younger.
16.
16, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You get less for life.
I've done you.
Double.
So where did you actually meet?
Oh well, we met when we met at the club, didn't we?
In a boys' club, Acorn Boys' Club that we all used to go to.
She used to dress up
in
like
London.
a boy.
No, that's what it was called, Acorn's Boy Club.
Yeah, we
Probably a bit sexist now, wouldn't it?
we used to be with a group of people, didn't we? All of us, all our
Yeah.
friends, and sort of we met through that way. And then we just, as you do, teenagers go out with each other, and we started going, just doing the normal things you do as a teenager,
Yeah.
going out dancing and going clubbing and that.
Yeah.
And we've been together ever since. We had
Yeah.
a little break in between there sometime, we just went both explore a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we came back to
Came
each
back
other.
to, yeah.
Yeah.
And the
just-
rest is history, as
And
they
the rest
say.
is history.
Yeah,
So,
we're still here.
so you got
Not married.
okay.
Not married. I said to her, we'll give it 50 years, and if I like you, we'll stick together and we'll get married.
How's it working out?
Well, how long have you got, Colin?
I've got loads of time.
No, seriously, we're mates as well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is, you fall in love with people and then you also become mates as well. And that's,
Yeah,
that's
friends,
what's holding
don't
us
you?
together,
Yeah.
So you lived in London, didn't you?
Yep.
Yes, we did.
Lived in London till 90.
Yeah, 1990. We lived in North London, Islington.
Right.
Then in 1990 we moved to St Neots,
Yeah. Which is up near
Huntingdon.
Huntingdon, Cambridgeshire, which is it's almost in the centre of the country, but slightly to the east.
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yes. Then we moved there, didn't we, in 1990. Then we moved a few times from there. And then we ended up in the end in March in Cambridgeshire with our family. We bought a 5-bedroom house, didn't we, 1930s house. And how long did we live there?
We stayed in March in
2001.
total. It was 20 years. wasn't it,
Yeah,
roughly?
2001 we moved there.
We had a nice big house we bought for a family because we had young children, and they grew up in there. And then we decided to sell that later on as they were moving out,
Yeah.
and moved down to a 3-bedroom house, which was another 1930s house again.
Yeah.
And all these houses over the time we did renovation to and
Yeah.
done them up how we wanted them, and enjoyed it. Built up, made handmade kitchens and things like that
Yeah.
for the houses and turned them into a
Yeah,
lovely
did
place.
all the
didn't we?
gardens and everything.
But we was always arcing to get into the countryside, being Londoners,
Yeah.
pushing ourselves in further and further. So when we ended up in March, which is a very farming community in the area, and it was like one road in, one road out,
Yeah.
we thought, we've hit it. It's the countryside for us, and that was it. But Tracy has always loved France.
Everything
Everything
about France.
French. She turned the houses into French houses, all the furniture and everything,
That's interesting, isn't it?
and the colours and everything. So
Why do you think that is, Tracy?
I don't know. I like the rusticness. Like, I like their colours. I like their designs. I like English style
Very
as
like
well.
a lot of pastel colours. doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, they do.
Pastel. That's the.
Not dark blue in the bedroom.
I suppose it's a romantic way of
Yeah, I
looking
know
at
what you mean,
things,
yeah.
but I love French properties as well. And we just, for about 10 years, we were going to move, and then we had grandchildren. Obviously, we got 9 grandchildren, but 8 that are here. And we just kept putting it off year after year. And then, obviously, 2020, wasn't it? Or when Brexit hit, we thought it's now or never.
Yeah.
But before that, we came here a few times.
Yeah.
To France.
Yeah.
To look at
We started
properties.
in Brittany, and then we went down to the Pays de Loire, looked in that area. These were over a period of years,
Yeah.
making that decision. The hold back, like Tracy was saying, it was the grandchildren was holding us back from doing
Family as
it.
well.
But and then the Brexit situation came,
Yeah.
and
It was now or never.
it was
wasn't
now or never for us. And we found Normandy in a different light because we'd always seen the north part of Normandy,
Yeah.
but we found the south part of Normandy and how beautiful it was, and the rolling hills. It had everything we felt we wanted in terms of living that lifestyle of, like we want to grow the lavender and have the bees and have the grown food.
Space as well.
Because you already set that up in Cambridgeshire, didn't you?
Yes.
So with the no dig,
Yep.
gardening and
Yep.
the bees, and did you have the lavender there, or was it
No,
the
what
weather
we had-
for it?
we
We
had
grew
a-
lavender, didn't we?
We
had
grew
over
lavender,
200
yes. We had
plants.
about 100,
No,
more
more
than
than
that.
that. About 200 plants.
200
it was,
plants
yeah.
we had,
Yeah.
lavender roughly, and I'd started beekeeping probably 10, 11 years ago,
Right.
and I could see the symbiosis with the two. They could come together,
Yeah, of
like,
course,
Yeah.
and then I started experimenting with making different bee box systems for keeping bees and making beekeeping easier for people.
Right.
Getting the information from America and different people, and then making up my own ideas because I'm a joiner. So
It's interesting, isn't it, that you should use your skill set as a joiner
Yep.
to look at other things around you and say, I could make that easier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
improve it a little bit,
Improve
or
it,
make
yeah,
it
yeah,
suit
'cause
me.
In one of your videos, I think in not your last video, but the one before that, when you had the sample box sash window,
All right.
there was a bit on it where the outside had a bit of a slope on it, didn't it?
Yeah.
And where the sash window came down to it, there was also a slope on
Yeah.
it, so that the water doesn't run in.
That's right.
And what was the word you used?
Capillary.
Capillary action of water
Yeah.
being drawn up into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're all little nuances that you do in carpentry. When in joinery or carpentry, when you're working away and you're inventing for yourself,
Yeah,
and you're trying improvement, you look at these little tweaks that all help.
yeah,
That's development in carpentry always, from
Yeah.
the Georgian period right through to now.
yeah,
And they perfected it. Their things are coming down, But with the bee systems, mine was more about keeping the bees alive.
Yeah.
Right. So the biggest problem with people and keeping bees is they go along to this school of thought, which is the norm in England, if you like, and around the world, and there's too much disruption to the bees for a start when they go and enter. So they're taking off boxes and dropping down into the system. Also, they've got thin-walled boxes, 3/4 inch. Bees, generally, most people who start out beekeeping, and this is where they give it up, is they lose their bees in the first year or the second year, and they get fed up with losing them because they're expensive.
When you say lose them, does that mean that they fly away somewhere
they
else,
die.
or they just die?
They die.
Right.
They die. Bees can tolerate the cold, but they need drafts. They need air flowing through them. They can't tolerate moulds and like parasites and things like that. So. Without getting too deep into that, there's different types of parasites that live within the bees. You have to give them a good environment. So when in the natural world, how I thought about it, they fly to a tree, and they pick a tree that's a big tree and it have a little hole, and that tree is well insulated within them. So they build their structure of their cone work so it faces the hole, so the air can flow properly. They know all this. They're clever enough.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was trying to do with my boxes. I'm still developing now.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, but creating walls that are much thicker for them to give them that insulation, but good ventilation. So I have full grill systems underneath.
Yeah.
Let the air blow through even in the cold.
Yeah.
But they'll be coming up in future videos.
Yeah, I was going to say
yeah.
that you'll
We'll
do
I'll
a
have
talk
to
video
go in
on
depth
that,
to them
yeah.
in a
Looking
year
forward
or
to
so.
So, do you think that unconsciously what you did in Cambridgeshire was setting this all up
Yeah.
for your next life?
I would say it was
here?
consciously.
Or consciously,
Definitely,
yeah.
yes,
That's what I was
definitely.
asking.
Because-
yeah.
It
we
was
always
practicing,
said
wasn't
we
it?
were
We were
saying this. We
practicing, yeah.
wanted to learn. We wanted to learn how to keep bees and keep them alive, and then we wanted to learn about growing food that we knew that when you pick it, you know what went into that, making that grow.
No chemicals.
And there was nothing in there, no chemicals. If you have plants that are getting destroyed by bugs, that's part of nature.
Yeah.
But you try to make the plant grow as strong as possible. That's the ethics of it. You make that plant grow as strong as possible so it can fight off the bugs itself, not without putting chemicals on it. So we went into this no-dig system, watched Charles Downing. I couldn't watch Charles Downing. He gave us a sort of his inspiration. We saw how he was doing it, and then there's a couple of other people, one or two Americans as well, and joining them all up, and then we practiced it.
Yeah.
And we was amazed, weren't we?
Yeah, definitely.
First year.
The food
Oh,
was.
my God.
Oh, it was lovely.
You know, you pull a cabbage or whatever out of the ground, you know, you get
Leeks,
a little,
carrots.
you pull out a cabbage, you know, it's
Yeah.
ginormous, or
Yeah.
we would grow all our potatoes in buckets,
Yeah.
right, and grow them in a different way there. And that was I'm trying to think of who that is now. That's the grower, the Welsh lad.
Hugh.
Hugh.
No, not Hugh,
I've
another
got his
lad.
book on it.
Another Welsh lad. You know, the one who's something grow or something. Anyway, I can't remember it now.
We'll think of it later, and I'll put it along the bottom.
Yeah, put it on.
Oh, you're talking about the one who had the allotment with the black hair?
Yeah.
Grow your own food or
Grow
something.
your own or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? So I watched him growing in buckets.
Right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You see the samples, and so we tried it, and it worked.
Yeah.
So you get proper potatoes, juicy, lovely. They do what they say, you know,
Yeah.
in the tin, if you like.
Lovely, yeah.
And all them little things were coming along, and we was like really happy with our little
Yeah.
world.
But
Then
we
you're
needed
getting too
space.
happy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you're thinking, oh, do we go to France or do we not? You know, and then
Right, yeah.
it's that. See, but we've done all that.
Yeah.
We've got that experience, and we're going to bring that forward into our lives going forward
Yeah.
once we get the renovation out of the way.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. How many houses did you look at, do you think, before you found this one?
The last
We narrowed it down to 5 properties,
5.
was it? 5?
4 we went to see,
Yeah.
and we 5, and then we
Yeah.
give up on the last one, didn't we? Yeah.
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 So we didn't go to the last
Because-
You didn't go to the last one because you saw the one.
Yeah, we
Okay.
like that. And not only that, I think
And it was
the
last
more
on the
you
list as
have,
well.
Right.
the more daunting it becomes.
Yeah.
So if you had 10 or 12 properties, I think it gets quite overwhelming. You can
Too
narrow
much
it down,
choice,
can't you? Yeah, too much choice.
Yeah, and we had a criteria. We weren't looking for a house that was done up.
No.
I'm a builder. I'm a joiner. I want to bring my skills forward
I
and
can make
keep going
curtains, upholstery.
because I wanted to come to France and not have to work anymore.
Yeah.
Just work as doing what I want to do. So that was one of the criteria. We was also looking for as cheap as possible as property
Yeah.
to do the renovation with, so we could spend as much more money on it
Yeah.
to get it
Yeah.
how to we want it to our standard, and still live in France without not working.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's that
for a
big
period of time.
triangle. You've got to sort of put the sides together to make sure you can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And unfortunately, a lot of people do come to places like France, Spain, and that, and are living in the holiday mode for a few years,
Yeah.
and then it's all gone, and then the dream dies.
Yeah.
So we're hoping not for that. You know, we're hoping to go beyond that, and by the time we come to where we finished everything we need to do to live, we'll be setting up business of some
Yeah.
sort.
Yeah.
You know, we're lucky we've got a little extra
Cottage with a
so we can
woodland.
set up a
Yeah.
gîte,
Yeah.
gîte, and obviously I could teach people my craft.
We had
Yeah.
this conversation.
Yeah,
didn't
we've
we?
had this conversation with other people.
Yeah.
And I can set up my workshop, and then people can come out, stay in the gîte or tent on in the little woodland
Yeah.
with the witches.
Glamping, huh? Glamping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
glamping,
Oh, that's
yeah.
huge,
Yes, a glamping, yeah, and then we can teach things. And Tracy's got loads of crafts as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
so
know,
which will be good as well. Yeah.
we don't know.
It-
It's all for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
sort
So,
of one step at a time.
so what sort of time scale do you think, or have you set yourself a time scale?
Not really.
Or are you just saying, I'm going to do this part, then I'm going to do this part, and then we'll see?
I think being realistic, setting timescales never works. You know, I don't think it does. You can fight to that, but you never get there. It's very rare it goes like that. I think you have to drive yourself with what you're doing and the way you're living. So the longer we live in a caravan, the longer we're saying, we're not liking this, we have to push harder to
Yeah.
get to where we want to get.
Yeah.
So we let that dictate that to us, you know. And that's what's happening at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah,
So it's
definitely.
getting a bit tiresome. Like I said, I woke up this morning, it was cold.
Yeah.
And I said to Trace, like, are you cold, love? And she said, I'm a little bit cold. I said, could you open the fridge so we can warm up? So, you know, there was little things like that. No, I'm joking. But, you know, this will push us to get in the house.
Yeah.
You know, and the other thing is doing a renovation like as big as that. You'll find that there's a lot of things when you buy in the summer that you won't see what will happen in the winter.
I was just going to ask, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
You get the leaks and all the other problems
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
when the weather comes.
Yeah.
And if you're going to go and renovate something, you either say to yourself, in the beginning, I'm going to change all the windows, change the roof, change everything,
Yeah.
or we're going to live with what we've got. It's quite good, but we're going to see how it comes out. Is it
Yeah.
going to and we're finding that now.
Yeah.
So we now know what other things we have to do.
Yeah. So did you buy the house at a time of the year that you could plan the seasons, or did you just buy the house and then you're working within the seasons?
I don't think we looked at it like that.
No,
so
we
did
didn't, did
Yeah.
we? No.
We didn't
We
look
just-
at it
You'd
like
have to be pretty well organised to buy
Yeah.
a house to organise the renovations according to the seasons.
Yes, you
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
And life don't play that way because you're
No,
trying
it
to sell your house in the UK.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You don't know if it's going to sell. We were lucky.
Yeah.
Put it on the market, sold straight away.
We was the same. We was the
Yeah.
same. I think the UK property market, certainly going into the last part of, no, sorry, the first part of this year with the end of stamp duty,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was on fire.
yeah, it was.
And
So it's
Well,
our
that's
plan
what
for that.
prompted our buyer in the UK to buy our property, because we would have been out of her price range.
Yeah.
Because they dropped the stamp duty,
Yeah, of course,
she
yeah.
was able to do that, weren't
Yeah.
she?
We
so
sold
it
it.
helped her.
we sold a house in, Jane's just sitting over there.
Hello,
sold
Jane.
We sold a house in how many days? We put it on a Thursday.
3 days.
Yeah, 3
Yeah.
days, yeah.
Amazing.
We put it on Thursday and we had an offer that we accepted on the Saturday. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Amazing.
it's just amazing. Yeah.
Well, our house in the UK, it took just over 9 weeks from
Yeah,
the start
the
to the
process.
end, and
Yeah.
that was during a pandemic.
Yeah.
And in France, we completed within 9 weeks.
Yeah.
We were told 16 weeks
Yeah.
with other agents, weren't we, that we were looking at properties. So
And I think
we
also
were quite
we
lucky there, I
all
think.
are. You know, the whole of society now is moving into a different time now with this COVID dying
Mm.
away.
Yeah.
People want to live. You know, they've lost a year or two. They want to start living, so they're going to be out and about, getting on holiday more. They want to get out and, you know, properties are coming on the market. They want to
Yeah.
start buying these properties now
Yeah.
because they want to start living. They realise, you know,
Yeah.
they've been
Yeah.
confined so much. So it seems a positive push forwards, I think, for everyone now,
Yeah.
if we all be positive.
Yeah,
and go
definitely.
forward positively,
There is a
you know.
future, a good future ahead.
I
isn't
think there
for
is,
you,
and
Bradley?
you know, me and Tracy, our future is what we've been talking about there.
Mm.
Is to move forward with our land. We've got 3.5 acres or more. We
we think
we've
it's
got
more, don't we?
A couple of little woodlands, and there's so many things we can do. You know, once we start the growing process to get the orchard going, I'll get some horses,
Yeah.
and all these things are coming in the future. We've got a little woodland there we can play around with, do a bit of
Yeah.
woodman
I bet
craftsmanship.
you're so excited about it, isn't you?
Oh, I can't wait to do all
It's
that, but I've
lovely.
got to do a renovation
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
Like, you know.
When I used to take the dogs last year, weren't it, on the fields,
Yeah.
I used to go in the woodland every day with them, probably,
Yeah.
6, 7 times,
Watch the
just
season.
looking around,
Yeah.
and it was just lovely, wasn't it? Really enjoyable.
Do you plan each day, like the day before, or do you just get up and go right? Best crack on? Or
We have a bit
Have
of
you
a
got a-
plan.
We've
Have
got
you
slight plans, right? We will say to ourselves, by the end of the week, we want to be doing this.
Right.
Okay. What happens in renovations, if people who know who've done renovations, is as you're working through it, you're either waiting for materials
Yeah.
or something comes up, you open up something and there's a problem.
Yeah.
So you have to deal with that next. So it knocks you back on that part.
Yeah.
Like we've had a bit of flooding
Yeah.
issues,
Yeah.
right? So
With
it
the
knocks you
chimneys.
back a week
Yeah.
because you're trying to deal with all that before you can go forwards.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have to plan it to a degree, but you have to be flexible enough that when you're going forwards, we can't get materials, so we'll drop onto this job for now until we get enough. Like we started the plasterboard on the ceiling just
Can't
recently.
finish that though, can we?
We can't finish it because we found leaks coming in the windows. It's no good putting plasterboard up to it
upstairs.
and then let the water come through and say, well, I've got to change all that now and do it all again. So we wait
Yeah.
and we do
But
that
I've
job.
got little lists, like there's one in the shower room. I've just finished painting that, haven't I? The walls. And there's a list in the bedroom. So we've just done small lists,
Yeah.
not massive lists,
Be-
have
yeah.
we? Just
Yeah,
really
I
realistic,
think-
little
yeah,
lists.
yeah.
You've got to be
yeah,
realistic.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah.
I'll do myself a list most days,
yeah.
and because I find on those days that I don't do a list, I'm kind of stumbling around, don't really know
Yeah.
what to do.
And
Yeah.
the day goes by quick.
It does,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh god, yeah.
And that's the problem. And in France, days
It does
skip
whiz
by,
by, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like in England, you're thinking about the day
Yeah.
and you're looking
Watching
for
the
something to
time.
do.
Yeah.
And you're watching the time. Yeah,
oh
like this.
god,
But
is it
here,
only that? Yeah.
you go, I daren't look at the clock because it's going to be 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I've only just started,
Yeah.
you know, that's how you feel. But I love it. We love it. don't
Yeah, we do.
We're living hardship at the moment.
Yeah.
But, you know, we know what it's
It's
going
going
to
to pay off, isn't it?
It's
Oh,
gonna pay off.
definitely,
It's gonna
yeah.
pay off.
And,
And
things
we're
are slowly
suited to
coming
this
over.
lifestyle.
Yeah,
I think we
definitely.
are. We're suited to this lifestyle. And you know, if I had my family and children and my grandchildren, all of ours,
That'd be the icing on the
that'd
cake.
be the icing on the cake for us. But
What to have them move over?
have them
Yeah.
here with us, yeah. My son wants to be
Have
here.
you talked about that with them then?
Well,
No.
I don't know. James would like it here.
I
but
don't think
obviously
we've
he has
talked. We haven't
his
talked to
family.
them about it because we don't want to change their lives. You know, they got their own direction in
Yeah,
their
of
lives.
course, yeah.
So we don't want to make feel
Especially
guilty.
with the kids as well.
Yeah.
But we're
But
very
Casey
close
wants
to all
be
ours.
here. Our granddaughter Casey
Yeah,
wants to be
she
with
wants. She's
us.
very horsey. She loves horses and things like that. So she would love to be out here because we live in an area where there's a lot of horsey
Yeah, of
people.
course. Yeah.
We was with a couple last night,
Yeah,
weren't we?
we
Which
were.
are they've got a school for natural horse keeping.
Natural horse.
Natural. They don't have no shoes on the horses.
Oh, really?
Everything's natural.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, no, it's a nice way of keeping horses.
Yeah.
It's good for the horses as well. They have a lovely life. They've got acres and acres of forest and land to go on.
27 acres. I
People
think.
come over to their place. They spend time there. We're actually going to do a film
Before
there.
riding though.
They learn to ride. Yeah, I think they do bareback
Husbandry,
as well.
everything, don't they?
They do everything. You learn how to work with the horses and that.
Yeah.
We'll be doing a video there.
That'd be
and it will
interesting,
come
Yeah.
up.
wouldn't it? Yeah. I've never heard that before. Natural.
I've because I want to jump on one of their horses to ride their horses, but then none of their horses can carry me. Right, so when I go near them, all their horses go, and they back off. Like,
You're going to need a bigger horse.
I go stroke them. Like, but
Like this.
we're not going for like thoroughbred horses. Eventually,
Yeah.
we're going to just have big drafting horses of some
Yeah.
sort. You know, whether it be Breton punches or
Yeah.
you know, maybe Shire. I
Yeah.
mean, we've got a
Yeah,
friend who keeps
some
Shires
big
up.
old horses, isn't
Yeah.
Big horse, you know,
Yeah.
that we could. That's
strong old thing.
strong, slow, and a little bit more workable, believe it or not,
Yeah, yeah.
than
Those
these
are,
fiery little horses. You know,
yeah.
but that's all coming in the future. You
Future.
know?
Yeah, yeah.
Just need another lifetime.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's
Just
not
keep-
enough
Work
time, is
faster.
there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Get up quicker.
yeah,
No tea breaks.
yeah. We'd have to get up at half 4 instead of half 5 now.
So, if you were to do a pros and cons list of living and working in France, I say working, you know, like
Yeah.
working every day, what would be your pros?
Pros of living in France.
Pros of living in France.
I think space.
Okay.
I know this sounds a bit wrong, but lack of people.
Yeah.
Peace and quiet.
The peace and quiet, yeah. There's that. You've got a more naturalistic way if you live in the countryside living here, because I feel that France is 20, 30 or even 40 years
Absolutely.
more further back than
Definitely,
the
yeah.
UK
Yeah,
is in the
absolutely.
countryside.
Yeah.
Because we lived in the countryside in England.
Yeah.
People still write checks, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People- yeah. You
Yeah.
go to the supermarket, might be 5 people in front of you in the queue, 3 of them will write checks.
Checks, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
it's
amazing.
still holding on to that, and I think another good, lovely thing about France is they stick to their traditions. As much as some people don't like certain things, they stick to their traditions. That's what keeps their country lovely.
They're
And
patriotic,
They're very
aren't they?
patriotic to their country. So there's a lot of pros, I would say, living in France, and that's why we're here, I suppose, isn't it? You can ask me the cons.
I'm going to ask you the cons, of course I am.
Well, my
The
bugbear-
bureaucracy, I would say.
Bureaucracy, yeah.
To
Yeah,
try
that
and
is a
get-
massive pain, isn't it?
Because, see, how can I put it? My mentality is, like, if you come to France, some people might moan about this, like this or like this. But I think the French look at it as though this is their country, this is how they live, this is how things
Yeah.
work. So, being bluntly, if you don't like it, then
Go back.
basically
Next door.
go back
Yeah.
to your own country. And I totally agree. It's
think-
definitely different.
I think a lot of that, of what you talked about as well, comes down to the fact that they've had a revolution.
Yeah,
And because they've had a revolution, there's very little class system left
Yeah.
in France. There is still some,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
there's very little class system left, which means that if you work hard, everybody has a chance.
yeah,
Yeah.
And because of that revolution, the power is devolved down to the local government. The local mayor, as you well know,
yeah. The
the
American.
local mayor has all the power that you will ever come into contact with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
So, as I say, I think it all comes down to the fact that they've
Yeah,
had
there's something
that-
special
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
They've had that
definitely.
revolution.
Yeah, there is
Yeah.
definitely something special here, and that's why it draws so many Brits to France. And like I say, for me and Trace, I suppose its biggest thing is space and having the that
The
freedom.
houses as well. We
Not the
like.
freedom, because you're run by the way life is in that country anyway, but that feeling of freedom that you can get on. You know? So there's some good. The cons for me, there ain't really many. I do miss English food, some of the English food, believe it or not, because we've grown up all my life with it.
What do you miss? What do you miss
I
most?
don't know. I just certain biscuits and certain, their chocolate is not like dairy milk chocolate for me.
Milk is really nice.
Milk is
Yeah,
lovely.
we
Milk
said
is
that.
we
We
like the
really
milk. Yeah,
like
I like
the milk.
milk.
Oh,
Yeah.
you say
I
that. I
drink
went.
a lot of
I went
milk.
back to England last
No,
time.
no. Milk or chocolate. You know the.
Oh,
you
right.
get
Oh,
that
yeah,
for chocolate
yeah,
itself,
sorry, yeah.
But on the milk side of things,
Yeah.
because I thought you was talking about that.
Yeah, that's-
is
yeah.
I went back to England a few weeks back, and I grabbed the milk bottle in the plastic
Right.
cartons in England,
Yeah.
and I drank the milk, and I could taste the plastic.
Right.
It was weird.
Yeah,
I went,
different.
oh, and I used to like blue milk.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, I can't drink it.
What are you doing drinking out of the bottle? I'll get in all sorts of trouble while drinking out of the bottle.
I'll drink the bottle.
I love milk.
But
Yeah.
it just little things I miss, certain things, conveniences when you don't really want them, but it is nice if you're having fish and chips or
Yeah.
the pub or whatever it be.
Yeah, yeah.
Certain little things we miss.
I like granary bread, proper
Yeah.
granary
Yeah.
bread. But then we've had nice bread here,
Oh,
haven't
the
we?
bread is-
So
Oh, the bread's
yeah,
well
done. Yeah, as
the
you say, well
pan,
done.
the
Yeah.
pan.
Cons is, I would say, just for me, is everyone's going to laugh at this one, but it's the windows. It's just something about I've got a vex against the windows.
What the fact that
They open in.
they open in.
It's just it ain't right. It just isn't right, But I understand why they do it, because if you look at a lot of hotter parts of France, they
Yeah,
te-
but front doors open in though, don't they?
yeah, but they always have
Yeah.
everywhere. But you don't open your front door and leave it open all day, do you? In England.
If it's hot, you might.
I don't think so. I can imagine that. I'm not going to run down London, but some places in London you open your door and your furniture's going out at the same time. Do you know what I mean? So it's not that. It's I can't. I understand how the French way of thinking of their windows, because they have a shutter system,
Yeah.
so they can open their windows
open
in.
them, and then
Shut
close
the
the
shutters,
shutters.
yeah.
And then they have louvered shutters generally, and they blow
Yeah,
the
yeah.
air blows through, and then
Yeah.
when they want to shut the windows, they can open the shutters and so on. But in Normandy, the shutters seem to be closed, fixed shutters, so you
Yeah.
don't have that airflow if you shut the shutters. So if
Yeah.
it rains a lot here.
Yeah,
Do you know?
definitely.
So if you open the shutters and it's hot or muggy, and you want to open the windows, it's water teeming in.
Yeah.
And we like carpets. This is another reason we like carpets.
Yeah.
So upstairs, on the upstairs floors, we like carpets, and you open the window and it's raining, the carpet's
gets
wet.
wet.
So there's little things like that. Being a joiner, that is.
Yeah.
I can't collate why it opens up inwards when it should open outwards or slide up and down.
Well, you're just gonna have to deal with it.
But I have to just live with
You're just
it.
gonna have to live with
But
it.
one pro,
But that's all you got to worry about.
But that's all I've got to worry
Yeah.
about. Is nothing.
You're doing
you
all
know?
right.
but one positive is cleaning your windows. You
Yeah, it's
don't
brilliant.
have to get up the ladders,
That's
do
true.
you? Just
Just open them and
yeah, clean them.
lovely.
Yeah.
So that's a positive. I think.
I've got I mean, bureaucracy,
No.
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I think conformity all the time is a little bit controlling in that way for me, but we can live with it.
Yeah.
Just learn to
What,
with their
in
system.
terms of the building controls, you mean? Or?
No, well, we haven't got none of
Cars,
that really.
ve-
It's
vehicles,
just,
trailers.
if you have a trailer or a car,
Oh, right,
everything's
yeah.
got conform.
Yeah.
And there's one piece of, normally in the UK it's one piece of paper, and in France it's 6 pieces.
Oh,
of
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with that. That's their system. But it's little things like that. And it's getting used to it.
Although I found, even in the short time that we've had this place, relatively short time we've had this place, there's a lot of things that we used to do with bits of paper that you do online now.
Yeah.
So I think in a
It's
relatively
going
short time,
Yeah.
France is going to catch up with, with everything being done online.
Yeah.
You can have. We've just started doing in Leclerc's, probably in the past couple of years, I think. Home shop, like where you have your
delivery.
where you have your
Home
shopping
deliveries?
delivered.
Yeah.
To your home.
So like Tesco
That's
saying
coming
to
here now,
shop
is it?
online, yeah.
Which is brilliant. I mean,
And they're opening hours as well now, aren't they? Their
Yeah.
supermarkets are open till lunchtime. I don't know how long that's been.
Well, it's only, as far as I know, it's only Leclerc's which is the biggest supermarket, I think.
Yeah.
They open at lunchtimes, but there's a lot of places that are shut.
I'm
Yeah.
going back to pros here as well.
Yeah, go on.
Went to when we first came here, I would shoot up to the bakers to get the early morning bread.
Yeah.
Right, pan right. And it was something really lovely about it. When I used to turn up to the baker's, there'd be 4 or 5 fellas
Yeah.
with their baguettes
On
and
a
they're all chatting
Saturday,
outside
weren't
the
it?
outside the patisserie, and it would seem to be the fellas that get the bread.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
They
sort
have
of
a
like
routine,
it's
don't
different,
they?
you know.
Yeah, jobs.
And you could get seriously fat like me if you go to the pastry shop every day, like, you know, because I buy.
The bread's fantastic, isn't it?
That's fantastic. All their sweet stuff and that, I love it.
Yeah.
But they still have their jobs, not their jobs where they go out and work physically, but what the woman might do, what the man, they keep their routine, don't they? I suppose that's what.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
that refers back to what you're saying about, you know, things being 30, 40 years behind. Really.
yeah, definitely.
Keeping things how they were simplified.
Yeah.
Whether everyone likes that or not, it's in some people's minds, like mine and other Tracy probably, is we think that's normal and it's nice if it's done with respect.
Yeah.
Through the way you go forward, meaning that if Tracy wakes up and she starts prepping for some cooking later and does the caravan tidy up before she comes out and does her day pointing, and I'm straight into the building work, but I don't do what she was doing because she does it so much better than me, and vice versa. So if you do that respectfully, that's how life ticks by nicer. You know. As opposed to full-on competition all the time, you know. With oh, you do it, I do it, I have to do it, you have to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what France is about, isn't it? Yeah, I think a lot of it, you know, still kept that way. Like
Their lunchtime closures as well, don't they?
2
They
hours.
close 2 hours.
2 hours for lunch. Yeah.
So yeah,
2 hours. Actually, you've probably seen 5 Blokes in the Bread Oven, and
yeah, we
that was
watched
brilliant.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
we talked about that actually. The whole 2 hours lunch break, and the reason that they do that is because the lunch meal is the meal of the day.
Yeah.
Whereas in the UK, well, certainly in the UK, you work all day and you pick a sandwich up, and then you get home, and then you have your evening meal, which is your main meal. But it's different here.
Yeah.
So they have their main meal of the day at lunchtime,
Yeah.
which is why they have the 2 hours. They start a bit earlier.
Yeah, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
And I
There's a
understand
reason
that
for
because
it, isn't there?
Because they have their 2 hours lunch break and they have 2 or 3 courses, and then they go back to work. And then when they get home, they'll just have a tea.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
what
So they
we
go
would
to
call a
bed
tea,
with a
like
light
they'd have-
stomach. And
exactly,
that, you know,
Yeah.
which is a good idea.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking about it now.
definitely,
yeah.
Makes sense that.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Because I mean, in England, you work all day. You get your dinner at 6 o'clock. It's a great big meal. And
Great
you
big
eat
meal,
away,
yeah.
A
And
few
then you
beers,
have,
and then
yeah.
Have to
you
digest
sit on
that, don't
watching
you?
the telly for a few hours, you know,
Don't.
and then you're into bed
Yeah.
with a full stomach. So in the French way,
It's
that's a good
amazing.
way. Yeah,
We actually make it past 40, really, isn't it? that lifestyle.
I'm way past that now.
Yeah, but I think that's the. But certainly with the work thing, I think here it's a bit of a cliche, but they work to live here, don't they?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
They go to work so they can have a life.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
Yeah,
where
work
in
to
England
live,
we-
You live to work.
live to work.
We
to-
live
yeah.
just so we can go work and
Yeah.
pay the bills
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time, and that is the beauty of coming to France.
Yeah.
You change round. It takes time,
Yeah.
but you change round to a different way of living, and you realise you're alive.
Yeah.
You realise there is so much more to do
Yeah.
in your life, and it can be mainly simple things in your life
Yeah.
that fulfills you. That you don't need this big Ferrari, or you don't need this big house.
Keeping up with the
It
Joneses,
means nothing.
isn't it,
Yeah,
really?
that's right.
Life is about being happy, being respectful to other people,
Yeah.
and just moving forwards and doing the best you can, because you only get one life.
Yeah.
And in that time, you've got to just say to yourself, when you get to the end of it,
I've
I'm
done
happy to
what
die
I
now
achieved,
because
yeah.
I've done everything I wanted, or
Yeah.
whatever. Just feeling happy about life, and that's all it's about, I think.
Well, on that note,
Yes,
which is beautiful, Bruno.
yes.
No, you can pay him later.
Jane, $5.
On that note, I think we'll wrap it up there. And thanks for coming over. It's
Lovely
been lovely to
talking
see you
to you.
again.
Yep, seeing you and
And,
Jane.
We love it coming here,
and
especially all the pastry.
Yeah.
we do a lot of pastry, don't we?
We've got 4 more to eat, haven't we, that we brought as well.
So, if you'd like the video, share it on social media,
Thumbs up.
press the thumbs up, press the notifications bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All that leaves to say, Actually, go on, you can say it for me, go on.
What do you say?
Well, there you go.
Bye, there you go. See
See
you.
you soon.
And I'll see you soon.
There you go. What he said.
Au revoir. Bye.